Welcome to Be Still and Notice, a yoga podcast. Join me, your host, yoga and meditation instructor Helen Taylor, to dive deeply into the vast ocean of wisdom that is yoga. Explore with me how these ancient practices can help heal and elevate us physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in an ultra-modern world. Together, we'll deepen our practice, explore our connection to divinity and our own inner landscapes with the help of special guests, guided meditations, how-tos, and oh so much more. Yoga has the incredible power to change your life on every level, and it all begins with stillness. Now let's begin. Welcome everyone to episode 3, and I'm just going to briefly introduce this episode. This one is all about what yoga is and what it isn't. Now, this is just a quick 20-minute episode that dives into some really actually massive questions that I can't fully answer here. And bearing in mind that some of what I say on here is my opinion and maybe controversial. And if it is and it opens up wider questions, I'd really love to hear from you. I touch a little bit on advanced asana practice. And I'd like to say that all of this podcast is about exploration. It's not about judgment. It's not about criticizing. It's about exploring the deeper concepts and meanings within a yoga practice. And when I talk about advanced asana, I am in no way judging anybody's path. We're all completely different human beings, and everyone will have very different experiences. So full disclaimer here, my opinion might be controversial, but have a listen, see what you think, and share with me. I'd love to hear your opinion. Okay, let's get on with the podcast. Enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Be Still and Notice, a yoga podcast. So if you listen to first 2 episodes, thank you so much for being here. This is an exciting time for me to be doing this and be able to create this space for exploration. This is an exploratory space for us to learn together, to talk about all the stuff that we don't have time to talk about in a yoga class, in a workshop, even on a course, although courses are great because there is a bit more space. Think of this as your sanghas, your satsang space, and even more than that, it is a learning space for all of us, including me, especially me actually. So I'm well aware that I haven't really introduced myself or talked about my yoga story, or that's going to be coming up in the next few episodes. But for today's episode, I thought it'd be really important actually to discuss what yoga is and what yoga is not. So interestingly, I was having this chat with my amazing business coach, Shakti. She's the movement maestro. If you follow me on Instagram, I have talked about her quite a lot because when I find someone amazing, I really like to share them with other people, recommend them to other people. And she is amazing. She's been so helpful to me. And we were talking about people's preconceived notions of yoga. This is something I've talked about also a lot with my friends, fellow yoga teachers and colleagues. And it can be incredibly frustrating that in this modern Western world, when you say the word yoga, people immediately go to stretching in leggings. Yoga apparently is about stretching in leggings. Frustrating. Very, very frustrating when if you are really quite a serious yoga practitioner, or even if you just have a wider world view and you have a wider knowledge base, that's the last thing yoga is. So it is heartbreaking, actually, that it has been distilled down to stretching in yoga pants, in leggings. So in this episode, we're just going to dive in, because also it's a question that I get quite a lot from my one-to-one clients, especially when they're new to the practice. We've been working together for a little while. People's view of what it is expands, evolves, and changes massively. And this is true for me as well. I started off practicing yoga when I was like 17 with my sister-in-law. Thank you, Tanya. If you're listening, thank you for that. And over the years, I practiced it on and off more for the physical benefits than anything else. Didn't really know much about it. And this is true for most people. And when I do one-to-one sessions, more than likely people start yoga because they are drawn to the physical benefits. So they know that they will get more mobile, they'll have more balance, they'll be stronger, they'll have a certain more degree of more flexibility. They'll also be able to learn to relax and calm the mind. I mean, everybody knows that the physical practice of yoga is incredibly good for you when done correctly. An emphasis on that, when done correctly. Why emphasis on that? Emphasis on that because you can really seriously injure yourself doing yoga poses unsafely. But that's a whole nother episode. So take, for example, one of my lovely one-to-one clients who I've been practicing with for a year keeps asking me the same question. So what is yoga? So we've been doing the physical asana practice. We've been going through our sun salutations, breaking them down, doing our warm-ups, working on the standing poses. We've been doing a little bit of breath work, a little bit of relaxation. And it's taken a year to get to the point where the question has been asked again. So what is yoga? What is it then? Because it's not purely about movement. It's not just about meditation. What is it? Well, I'm going to start with what it is not. So yoga is not just stretching in leggings. Please, can we be really, really clear about that? The physical side of the practice is beautiful, beneficial, incredible. And if that is what draws you to the practice, then fantastic. But 99.9% of the people who I have taught over the years start off looking for physical benefits, and before long they go, this is what it's all about. It's like the physical practice is the gateway. It draws people in, especially in the West, when we are not so in tune spiritually. We're not so connected. It's the gateway to an unlocking of something much, much deeper. So let's break it down. It's not stretching in leggings. It's not Pilates Many times I get asked the question, what's the difference between yoga and Pilates? Well, the difference is huge. Some of the movements may seem quite similar. In fact, they are. But Pilates is a beautiful practice that is just based on physical core, deep muscle movements. It's fantastic for the body, but that's it. It ends there. Yoga is not an exercise program. It is not a religion. Now, this one can get quite confusing as well because of the mention of Hindu deities within the practice, chanting of Sanskrit mantra, which invoke or celebrate or bow, are dedicated to specific Hindu deities. Yoga is not a religion because it doesn't prescribe to any religious order, or it's about the individual. It's about the individual's practice. That seems like space for a whole episode on why yoga is not a religion. I will come back to that. So it's not just stretching, it's not just an exercise routine, it's not a religion. So what is it? So you may well know that the word yoga refers to or means union, to yoke. Yoga to yoke, from the root of the word. And that is union of many different things. Union of mind, physical body, emotional body, energetic body, all together. Union of your spirit, your soul, the Atman, your inner self with the divine. When you read the Bhagavad Gita or Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, you'll see that asana practice, so the physical practice, physical yoga poses, are mentioned once or twice. They are the tiniest part of a much, much bigger picture that is yoga. In truth, we think we know that yoga asana were designed to allow yogi aspirants, so people that are looking for divine connection, mainly men back in the day, to keep their bodies cleansed, purified, fit and healthy, which we know yoga poses do. Bending, moving, keeping the body mobile and strong, for what purpose? The purpose was to allow the yogi to sit comfortably in meditation without pain, without illness, without any physical discomfort. And when the body is strong and pure and not unwell, you can sit with ease. And when you sit with ease, it means that you are more able to concentrate on meditation or whatever the concentrating practice is. So these cleansing practices, asana, were to help the body stay seated for long periods of time in meditation, similar to pranayama. Now, pranayama is the manipulation of the breath. Prana, the life force energy in the body. And when you manipulate, that means you can hold the breath in, breathe fast. There are many, many different, thousands of different pranayama techniques. All of these are to enhance the prana, the life force energy in the body, to again keep it clean, keep it healthy, keep it strong, free from pain, so that you can sit in meditation. So these two elements of the practice are huge in Western culture. Breathwork is becoming way, way more popular as everyone starts to learn more and more about the nervous system, which is fantastic. Nervous system seems to be a huge thing in the last couple of years, and the more we learn about our bodies, amazing, because we have so much control about how we impact our bodies, and the breath is massive. Okay, so we're getting a little bit closer to it. We know that we know that yoga means union, and we know that asana practice and pranayama practice are to cleanse the body, keep it strong, so that we can sit in meditation. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more nuanced. The yogi aspirant, so say you're in Indian culture and you have a calling and you move to an ashram, specific guru under his tutelage, and you seek enlightenment. What does that mean? Seeking yoga is pretty much the same as seeking enlightenment. It's seeking that union with the divine. Now, it's hard to describe, and in fact, one of my amazing teachers, which I will reference again and again and again, I think I've mentioned it on another episode, so excuse me, Freddie, she said that yoga cannot be taught, it can only be experienced. And what the yoga that she's talking about in this instance is the experience of union, the experience of oneness. You might have experienced this yourself. Say you've gone to some gorgeous country and you stood on a mountain and you suddenly get this overwhelming feeling of love, just a pouring of love, or awe-inspired feeling where you're just merging with everything around you, where your heart is just pouring open and you want to cry because of everything is so beautiful. This is a feeling of oneness. This is a feeling of yoga. So where are we now? Where are we now? We've learnt that asana practice, pranayama practice, they help the body be strong to allow us to sit in meditation. Yoga as union, not yoga as stretching, but yoga as union is the ultimate goal of a yoga practitioner. And again, if you look back to the ancient scriptures and read them, everything is about meditation. Everything is about stillness, meditation, going within, and stripping back the ego. Now, quite honestly, some of these concepts are massive. I mean, they just are huge. And it's a lifetime of exploration. And sometimes it's hard to explore them verbally. Sometimes that's where the physical practice can help us get to a space where we experience it more freely. And that's really important, that although we should never distill yoga down to just stretching in stretchy pants, we just shouldn't. It's an important part of the practice. It helps us get to that space. But yoga is not purely that. It is way, 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 way more. And that is really my emphasis in this episode, is just to kind of get the tin opener on that can and just open it a little bit. And this is something that we're going to explore more deeply in greater depth all throughout these episodes and in my conversations with other people and from their experiences. And I think when Freddie said yoga cannot be taught, it can only be experienced, it's one of the truest things I have ever heard. And maybe it will shift your perspective on your practice. Maybe it creates an aha moment for you. Maybe this is something you already know. Maybe this is something that just rings true. Maybe, okay. So I like to view yoga, if I was to distill it down into something a little bit more simple, I like to view yoga, specifically Tantra, again, that's for another episode, as a science for the evolution of humankind's consciousness. And when I say science, I mean that there are methods, practical methods, that we know work. More and more, Western science is doing studies on yogic practices, meditation, all of these kind of esoteric practices as well. Oh, bless you, Rocky. That's my doggy sneezing. And they're being proven to work. We know that yoga, deep breathing, meditation works on the body, works on the mind, calms us right down. And more studies are going into vibrational frequencies, brain waves, all kinds of fascinating things. Really, Western science is catching up to what yogis have known for thousands and thousands of years. So, yoga is not Pilates. It's not stretching in leggings. It's not just lying on the floor and relaxing. It's not posing for Instagram, doing fancy poses. And that's something I want to touch on as well. Again, I think it's another whole episode. But there's no need to be proficient in advanced yoga poses to reach yoga, as in union, oneness, connection with the divine, connection with your true inner self. For some people, it happens on the bus, in a moment, hiking up a mountain. It can happen anywhere, anytime. You don't need to be able to do handstands, stand on your head, scorpion pose, none of that. If that's your bag, go for it. Amazing. But make sure to get your meditation in afterwards. I really want to dispel this myth that advanced yoga poses are necessary, because they're not. They are skillful, beautiful, incredibly physically demanding, amazing practices. But standing on your hands will make you very, very strong in the body. It will show that you have tenacity, self-discipline, a lot of physical strength. But can you sit in stillness? Can you sit and be quiet with your own thoughts? Can you sit and notice the breath as it flows? Can you still do that? Because that is the key. The stillness, being still and noticing, is the key to the beginning of that sense of yoga, the experience of yoga, and that connection. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. There is so much to explore within this one question. And from this, I'm going to break it down even more in following episodes. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening to the Be Still and Notice podcast. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and perhaps it even added something to your life. If you know someone that might benefit, please share this episode with them, and of course a review would be so much appreciated. Please find all the information relating to this episode, including relevant links, in the show notes. And until next time, sending you so much love and light on your path to yoga.